Okay, I've been putting this off and redoing it for a while because I actually went and deleted my original footage for this video on accident. I'm very sorry, and that doesn't usually happen, but on the bright side, it does give me a little bit more time to form a shareable opinion of this tripod for you guys. This is the infamous Coman video tripod. No model number, no nothing. It's just the Coman video tripod. I got this for about $109 on Amazon, but depending on when you're watching this, it could be on sale. At the time of recording, it's like $90 or something, but I assume if you're actually thinking about getting this tripod, you've already checked that for yourself. Either way, this tripod had a lot of good reviews, and so I decided to get it and maybe make my own. Right out of the bag, we get the tripod itself, of course, along with the control arm or power bar, and then inside this little pocket is an owner's manual with a little extra additional hardware. I don't think there's anything else in the bag, so we're just going to put this on the ground. The mounting or quick release plate comes attached to the tripod. Of course, the quick release plate has its own 1/4 mounting screw that can go from front to back, depending on where you want the camera. And it actually has its own little compartment inside for a hex nut wrench to tighten the screw and help mount your camera onto it. It's nice to see people using their brains in the design department every once in a while. Okay, first we have to bring these tripod legs down because they're originally up, and that's not hard. They have these little buttons on the side. You can click down into your preferred mounting angle, and then once you've done all three, you can set it right here. There's a little gasket here that you might be confused about because the tripod shouldn't be this tall. All you have to do is unscrew this, just twist it left, and it comes down. Mounting the control arm or power bar to the side of the tripod is pretty easy. We just take its toothed grip, set it on the other one, and then tighten it down. And it sets itself into place, just like that. Setting up the camera is also no trouble. All we have to do is mount the QR plate. Just to line it up with the screw hole on the bottom. And you can take the hex nut wrench out, but this will work with a flathead screwdriver, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that because the hex nut wrench is pretty small and I can use this to get it tighter. So we're going to hand tighten it first and then screw it down with a flathead. Now the hard part here is actually getting the camera mounted to the tripod. I'm just going to move this down right here so y'all can see it. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. You're supposed to be able to just slide this forward and then get it right there, but you have to do a little bit of wiggling. Right now it's tightened down, it's as it should be, but sometimes there's this little switch on the side and the knob and they can cause some confusion. All you really have to do is put this right here, lift up the left side a little bit, and then push it forward, and then you have it in place. From here, all you have to do is tighten this little knob down, and you've got it tightened. And then, if you want to detach it, you can unscrew this little screw here all the way, and then push the switch back, and it'll let you take out your camera. If you haven't done that, it's probably going to get stuck. Also, just so you know, this tripod will work with basically any quick release plate you have. This is one I have for my gimbal, and we'll just slide it on the front way. And it slides on and secures down just fine. That's in there solid. Once we secured the camera down and tightened it into place with this little knob on the side, I'd say it's pretty tight on there. You can move this around a lot, and it's staying on there, it's not going anywhere. This video head in particular does have some ports on the side for accessories such as small lights or microphones, but I don't have any of those, so we won't be worrying about that. Now that we have the camera set up on the tripod head, there are a variety of knobs that we should probably get familiar with. The ball head mount, or the little bit of everything mount as I like to call it, can be tightened with this one on the front. The pen axis can be tightened using this little one on the back. we'll just leave that loose for now. The vertical axis can be tightened using this one on the side that seems actually pretty well made. I like this knob. And you know, it's pretty hard to miss. One fun thing about the vertical axis is that if you haven't tightened it down, it will smoothly return to the default position. I'd say that's pretty cool. One thing this tripod can actually do is turn into a monopod in under a minute, thanks to the Amazon listing for demonstrating this when the manual said nothing about it. If you want to raise or lower, you can use the telescopic legs as well as this little rod here. Just remember to tighten it back down again whenever you're finished. Alright, it's time for pros and cons. As I said, this tripod can turn into a monopod in under a minute. I'd say that's pretty nifty. The pan and tilt functions are honestly some of the smoothest I've seen in a tripod. This tripod is a little far from what I'd consider light, but I mean, if you're okay with carrying a 5.7 pound tripod around with you, plus the additional weight of the camera, then because of its weight, it does have some pretty sturdy construction. The tripod can connect to a wide variety of quick release plates, and I get the suspicion that you can actually switch out the video heads if you want for different types of quick release plates. There is a small bevel level on the pan tilt assembly, useful for making sure your shots are level, which I have found very helpful. This tripod has a max load of 17 pounds, which means it can hold some pretty heavy cameras. This is actually one of the heavier cameras and it's like 3 pounds or something. It's not even a challenge. Cons. The ball head, it's pretty nice, right? Well, there's some things about it that I don't quite like. It can only tilt to 25 degrees. What you're seeing right now is the full extent of how far it can go. That's not even far enough for portrait video or portrait photos. I don't really see very many use case scenarios where a 25-degree angle would be useful. I mean, maybe if you wanted to show like the tilt of a hill or something, but at that point, I would just set this to level and then do that with the tripod legs. Aside from that, if you pan or tilt too fast, your shots will no longer be level, regardless of how hard you've tightened down the ball head. There doesn't seem to be any definite way you can control this, and I don't think that bodes well for heavier cameras either. That's all the pros and cons I have, and considering there's less cons than pros, it should be great. But I mean, that one con, you gotta admit, is kind of a big problem. However, there are still a couple things I am not sure about. Alright, it's time for the list of are these features or not. This little hook on the bottom, I don't know if I can push it out right now, it's kind of stuck in there a little bit. You have to make sure you pull it out straight or it won't even come out. You have to unscrew this little cap in order to actually be able to take it out of its assembly to turn it into a monopod. I think it's used for securing a tripod to a bungee cord or something. Imagine you're in a truck and the tripod needs to be in the back, in the bed, and you're worried about it shaking around. Seems like this would be useful for that. You just tie it down with a bungee cord or something and then forget about it. But I just don't see myself doing that much. Another thing this thing can do is actually move this in a full 180, basically 180 degree field. I mean, this goes up to the actual camera area, which I see as being maybe a little bit dangerous, and you can only fasten it when it's like this wide, which is like almost 90 degrees from its original position, I think. I know that's for like putting it away and putting it back in this bag and traveling and stuff. I don't know, I guess it could be useful for very specific situations. So in conclusion, I'd say this is a good tripod for beginners looking to up their game. Don't want to pay $400 for a pro level Manfrotto tripod and yet still want quality. I've been using this tripod for quite a while now, and honestly, it's all I really need. I can deal with the ball head problem, you probably can or can't. This tripod has been a very reliable addition to my gear collection. Thank you all for watching my review. If you're thinking about buying this tripod and you're not sure, I hope I've been able to provide some help and insight towards your choice. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for reviews just like this, and without further ado, I'll see y'all next time.